I'd like to show you how to use Turnitin. Turnitin is a tool that we have, and it is used to uphold academic integrity, right? To make sure students aren't plagiarizing. But it also can be a really good tool to teach students how to do their best work, teach them about originality, teach them about proper citations. So it's basically it gets tacked on to an assignment, and it goes through a library and compares it with other papers and other resources. So here's how you do it. So like I said, it's paired with an assignment. So you'll need to make a new assignment or use an existing assignment. In this example, I'm going to create a new one. So I'm going to hit plus assignment and give it a name. Let's call it Critical Essay 1. And then here's where you'll give them the instructions and anything they need to complete the assignment. You can add attachments, links, images, videos, documents. You can add it all here. All right, I added just a little bit of instructions. And then when you scroll down, you have your assignment settings. So we'll just do those as normal. Say it's worth 50 points. You choose the assignment group. You choose whether you want to display the grade as percentage points. Sometimes, although not often, you can do complete, incomplete, letter grade, GPA scale, or not graded. And then here's where Turnitin comes in. So normally your submission type will be no submission, online, on paper. This time we're going to choose external tool. And then we're going to find Turnitin from this list. Luckily it's alphabetical. So you just go down until you find Turnitin and you're going to click on it. And then click select. I haven't found any need to click this box to open in a new tab, so we'll leave that blank. Here's where you can either lock it down to, a limited number of submission attempts or unlimited. I tend to leave it as unlimited as long as they get it in by the due date or have an excused, lateness. That way I don't have to deal with any emails. Anonymous grading, sometimes people do that for like comprehensive exams, but in this case I don't need that. And then in my assigned field, I can choose whether it's certain sections, everyone, certain students, and I can give it a due date. A lot of times we do 11:59 p.m., but you could do whatever you want. And your availability window, you can select or you can leave it blank. So if you really need to lock it down so they can't start early, you could do that. And if you really need to lock it down so they can't revisit after the due date, you can do that. I like to leave it blank, give me some wiggle room. So now I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And what you'll notice is a little loading screen, and this is where the Turnitin tool will be added. So right now it's is the instructor view of your assignment settings. So a lot of the settings are pulled directly from Canvas, like the due date. That's pulled from Canvas. So get it right in Canvas and you won't have any problems in Turnitin. There are additional settings that you should be aware of, and those are under the optional settings link here. So I'm going to click to expand, and here they are. Okay, so let's just go through them one at a time. So you can submit papers to the standard paper repository or do not store the papers. You can limit the file type. You can allow for late submissions. I say, keep that there, again, just in case anyone has any technical problems and they need to submit it a little bit after the due date, they'll still be able to, and you as the instructor can decide whether or not you'll give full credit or not. Here's one for grammar checking. Here's one for a rubric. Instead of using the rubric here within Turnitin, we can also use a rubric within the assignment. So we'll revisit that in a bit. What else? Okay, so here's what it's comparing against: the student paper repository, current archived website content, and periodicals, journals, and publications. Now here's when the similarity report is generated. So there's three choices. If you want to allow them to resubmit, you'll want to change it. The default is that they cannot resubmit. If you want to allow them to resubmit, you can click on this one here, and that will let them resubmit until the due date. And then after 3 times, it slows them down and it makes them wait 24 hours before the next report is generated. And then this one, they don't get to see the similarity report right away. They will see it on the due date. But they can resubmit as many times as they want until then. So this is the one I'd probably choose. That way the students can get immediate feedback on how they did and make changes. You can let them view the similarity report or not. Again, if you're going to use it as a tool to make them better writers, you can keep it on. If you're just using it to make sure they're not copying directly from each other or other papers, you can just turn it off. And then when they get that report, do you want to exclude bibliographic materials, quoted materials, or small sources like, less than, 1%, or, just, 3 or 4 words in a string? So I'm going to go ahead and include all of these things. So when they get their similarity report, it will include all of these things. And then I'm going to save my settings because when I do this again, I want to keep these settings. And then I'm just going to hit submit. There it is. Okay, I'm going to make sure my assignment is published. And then I'm going to go look at it from student view. So I'm going to open it up and then click on student view in the top right. So this is what the student will see. Okay, do not be alarmed that there's an error here. It's because student view doesn't actually, go to a real student. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to masquerade as another student. Here's what it might look like for your students. They'll see the title, the instructions, and then they'll see this little dashboard here and a little button to upload submission. Here, they can upload from a file, a submission text, not recommended, or a cloud submission from a Google Drive, a OneDrive, or a Dropbox. Just go ahead and find a student paper. And then they'll hit upload and review. And they should get immediate confirmation. Here we go. They get a little preview area where it's got title, file size, word count, a preview, a cancel, or a submit. And then once they hit submit, they'll get a submission complete check mark. And when they X out of here, it will show their paper, their upload time, and it will await a grade. And when the similarity report is ready, it will be here. So since we did set those settings so that they can resubmit, if they click on the 3 dots, they are able to download it, download a receipt, or resubmit their paper. So maybe you can have them download a receipt to make sure that they did submit it on time. So here the similarity report is available and it becomes a little hyperlink. So the student, I'm still in the student mode, can click on it. It'll open up a new window called the Feedback Studio. And this is kind of the dashboard, so to speak, of the paper. And these over here are your filters or your layers of what's showing. So it looks like it's 100% matched. I might have submitted this paper already. And yep, I did. I submitted this paper already, and it's letting me know it's 100% matched to a student paper that was already submitted. But I can also drill down into all sources. Again, not a great example since it's just a paper. And then I can also filter to exclude quotes, exclude bibliography, and exclude sources that are less than so many words, so many percentages. And it also can do multicolor highlighting. And the student will also be able to see any feedback from the instructor. So that's what it looks like from the student mode. Let me go ahead and leave student mode. Now I'm back in instructor mode. And what you'll see under this assignment inbox is there's one student who has submitted their paper. So you can go in and click on any of these links. Feedback Studio will look kind of similar to the student's one. Here we go. But you will have additional choices where you can mark up the paper. You can leave a voice comment. You can use a rubric. You can go through these settings here to look at what's been flagged, what the match overview is, what sources were, used, and similar filters as the students. And then you can also mark up the paper here using commonly used quick marks, elaborating with some text. What other options do we have? You can let them know citation errors. And then when the student clicks on it, it has a much more elaborate description. If you click on the document, you can choose to use a quick mark, a comment box, or an inline. It's commas 1, or 2, not sure. And then you can trash that comment, or if you can move that comment by hovering over it until you get the 4 arrows. That's what the inline text looks like. Let's look at the comment. And in the comment, you can use simple formatting, bold, italics, underline, or hyperlink in case you want to link to a specific resource. And then if you use that comment frequently, you can make it into a quick mark, which again was over here under the quick mark check marks, so that you can reuse it for other papers. And then the other one is again, quick mark. And you can use the search bar to find what you're looking for, or it just pulls some commonly used quick marks here. And then you can also filter by composition, paraphrasing, punctuation. Looks like it's got a lot of categories here. So that's how you can use Turnitin to mark up the paper. But you're not limited to Turnitin to mark up the paper. You can also use SpeedGrader. So if you go to SpeedGrader, you can use the SpeedGrader features here and watch the SpeedGrader video on how to use those. And you can also add your grades, your comments, and then you can also view the originality report from here as well. So that's how you turn on Turnitin for an assignment in Canvas.